For the last few years inside the United States, we've been seeing people balling out of control. We've been seeing people buying stuff that they could technically not afford. And I've had viewers that are like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. I'm just sitting back and saving my money and I just can't make it. And I see my neighbor, I see my friends and family buy new cars, buy new houses, and all of a sudden we're seeing these layoffs come in and the tide's kind of running out, and we're seeing now who is skinny dipping. And this is what we're going to go over this video. We're going to go over the rented lifestyle inside the US, because flashy cars, renovations, vacations, everything has just been purchased off of credit. And this is what we're talking about. And I have a comment here of one of my viewers that basically said that their neighbor, they renovated the house, bought a new Tesla. Now they lost their jobs. Now they're in panic mode, zero savings. And that's not rare. That is the American lifestyle. This is what Americans have been told by their parents. This is what Americans have been doing for a very long time. And when you look online and you're like, what are we doing? Where are we going? And how the economy is going? People give you really crazy advice. And we're going to watch one right here of a realtor. And I want you to see what advice this is. And I want your feedback on it, because this is just absolutely crazy. And if you listen to the wrong people, it will really hurt you. So let's watch this video of this realtor give advice, and I want to hear your opinion about it.
Every new agent should go out there and buy that brand new BMW or Mercedes that they cannot afford. When I interview people, I'm like, do you live with somebody? Okay, who is it? Oh, it's my husband. Do you need to work? No, but I just love to help people. I'm like, oh God. Do you have a car? What kind of car? Oh, I have a Hyundai or whatever. I'm like, oh, why don't you go buy a BMW and then come back? When you buy that new BMW and you got an $800,000 payment every month, you're going to be grinding just that much harder to make sure that you can make that payment. And that's a kind of agent that's going to make it.
So you see this advice, and I think I had this woman on before, and she's basically saying, let's get into an insane amount of debt and let's worry afterwards, because the stress at nighttime because you can't make the payment is gonna really get you to perform. And for some people, that might really work. And some people are like, man, I gotta hustle, I gotta do that. But if the economy's down, people can't make it, then this won't happen. And you just can't create something out of nothing if there's no demand out. And this is the problem that all these people in my comment section in my previous videos have been saying. Everything's good till it really hits you. And this is why I tell people we got to get a reality check. We need to see, how are things going in our area? How are things going in your job market? Because in the biggest job cuts in history, job cuts in October hit highest level in 22 years. 153,000 layoffs last month, up 173%. The tech sector alone, 33,000 jobs gone. So what does that do? Are these people going to qualify for mortgages? Are these people going to qualify to refinance? Are these people going to qualify for new trucks, new credit cards, etc.? Probably not. And that kind of goes hand in hand where the US economy is going and how you feel about your money and your situation. So I actually did a poll and I asked, how are you feeling about your finances? How are you feeling? Are you good? Are you not good? And 42% said, okay, but cautious. 23% of you said, struggling to keeping up. 15% said, I'm tight every month. Only 21% said they're comfortable where they're at. So 80% of people are basically struggling to keep up. They're kind of doing okay, but they're cautious. And 15% are just very tight. So this is not this rosy economy that people are thinking. That is why that's why you have to be so cautious of what you get yourself into, how you're going to spend your money, what are you going to do with it? Because as I'm looking at it, and people are like, oh, you can buy anything nowadays. Of course you can, because Sleep Number, Ashley Home Furniture, all these places have literally 0%, no credit, bad credit. You've seen the ads, right? And they wouldn't do that if the economy was booming, that you can finance a bed for I don't know how many months, and you can finance your mattress and you're like, you know what? Let's just keep on rolling because, my finances aren't that right. But hey, I've financed a mattress, I financed the pad, I financed the nightstand, I financed everything. And yeah, it all goes well till you lose that job, like this other commenter has been saying. And so I got another video that we're gonna look at of people, basically, of this one woman, of talking about her situation, how she feels about it. And yeah, let's look at, she did some of the stuff that I've been telling, and then she got into real trouble with the other stuff. Let's look at it, and maybe.
I, all by myself, have accrued over $180,000 worth of debt. And what makes that especially terrible is that 6 months ago, I had zero debt. 6 months ago, I was working a job that I loved but did not pay very well because it was a nonprofit. And then a former coworker called me up and asked me if I would come to work for her at her new company and offered me a major, major pay raise. So I obviously accepted and saw a major influx in my salary and thought to myself, okay, this is my opportunity to get out of the neighborhood that I was living in that was not particularly safe, but was affordable to me with my previous job. So I bought a new house. And at the time, I had someone living with me, renting from me, but she moved to Canada to get her PhD, and so she is no longer living with me, and I now have this giant house that is so beautiful, but that I cannot afford. And on top of the fact that I have a mortgage now that I did not have before, I have also had to have all of the windows replaced, have a new water heater installed, and with the water heater came a water softener, and there were foundation issues that I had to fix, and there were issues with wood rot on the outside. All of these things have compiled, and I now found myself as a single person with a single income with over $180,000 in debt and a mortgage that I cannot afford. And on top of that, I just feel like I just do not have my shit together. Like, beyond the money stuff, I just don't have my shit together. And so I'm going to record for all of you my journey to get my life together and to figure out a way to be able to afford my house and start paying off some of my debt. This is pretty embarrassing. So I have blocked every single person that I know and every single person they know so that no one in my real life hears this, sees this, etc. Because honestly, it's very embarrassing. So don't ask me why I'm comfortable sharing it with the whole internet because I can't make it make sense. But I hope you'll come along for the journey. I hope that you will share advice, insight, tips for how you have gotten out of a similar situation. I would love to hear it because I need it. Thanks.
So if you watch my content for quite some time, and then you know that I stress it all the time, get a network together, get make connections beyond just how's it going, and that's how she leveraged her into that new job. So congrats on her for getting that new job. And before I go into transition into the disaster of the house she had to upgrade, if you want to stay on top of trends about finances, what is going on, give me a like and a follow. I make videos like this all the time, and it would really help out my channel. So now let's look at what else she has been doing. When I look at that, she's like, "Oh, I had to move, and I didn't want to live in my area anymore." And all of a sudden, you're in a way worse situation than you were before. So what happened? She had a job making X amount. Then she got a pay raise. Now she's making so much, but now she just doubled, tripled the expenses. And all of a sudden, you're way worse off than you were beforehand. And this is what I tell people all the time in my videos. Just because you got a pay raise, don't increase your lifestyle. It's really difficult, but people are like, you know what? Let me just go out and get a new car, get a new water softener, get a new water heater, do some remodels, and all of a sudden it racks up. The cost just keeps on going, and then comes to find out, ooh, this wasn't such a good idea after all. But then hindsight's 2020, and you're like, you know what? This wasn't such a good idea. I should have just been more frugal. I should have just put that money away into a savings account or put it into some stocks, some investments that can actually make me more money. And she didn't do it. And now she's like, man, I'm at $180,000 in debt. I'm scraping to get by, and I just can't do it. And this is reality of so many people. So don't fall into the habit of, let me get a little raise and then let me upgrade something. Let me get a nicer this, nicer that. And that's how you fall into the trap of, oh my gosh, I look wealthy, but I'm actually not. And all of a sudden, you lose the house. you lose the job. And yeah, it goes hand in hand with each other. And the cost of living is so on the rise. It is absolutely crazy. So I have one more video to show you guys, because this woman is working and she has 3 kids and she can barely even make it. There's $100 left, and let's watch this video.
Everything has gone up.
We met Julie Lusaney, a single mom of 3 in Virginia.
I think this was $20 or so. Usually it would be like $9 to $10.
After a recent trip to the grocery store.
It's a lot. It's too expensive. It was like $6 or so.
In the past year, she says she's noticed prices are up the most for meat, fish, fresh produce, and dairy.
We don't want to waste water bill, it's too much.
Her family is cutting back wherever they can to lower the bills.
So when we're taking a shower, we can't take more than like 2 minutes or 3 minutes of showers.
Julie works 12-hour overnight shifts as a clinical technician at a Virginia hospital.
I have to pay rent first.
She says after she pays for rent, bills, and groceries, she only has $100 left in her family's budget until she gets her next paycheck.
Well, there's a little bit left. Not having enough money to pay for the rent, and then also put food in the house, and also pay for like car note, car insurance. It's really tough.
In an election, what is the number one issue for you?
Somebody that's gonna come put the grocery prices down.
So as we're seeing that she's like, I can't afford it. I have a job. I work 12 hours night shift and I can pick up some shifts, but still I can't make it. So the $100 a month isn't enough to keep the wheels going, because your one doctor's appointment, your one tire blowout, you're just one expensive fix away from not making it and being in the negative. And then you're going to experience this eighth wonder of the world, compound interest. Works great if you have money and you can live off of it. But man, if you don't have the money and all of a sudden it just starts racking up, interest starts to tack on to you. So then it's $100. Then 30% over a year, it starts compiling. And so then to dig yourself out of the hole, you got to figure something out. You got to work harder. You got to get a pay raise. You got to move jobs. You might have to leave the area to go to a higher paying area, but then the cost of living is so sky high. And so I see why so many people are struggling. And now if you're still like one of these people like, oh, it's all rented, the lifestyle, everything, at one time, everything comes due. Every chicken comes home to roost. And I have friends that drive fancy cars, and they're like, man, I don't know how much debt you're in, but man, it is just too expensive to exist. And cost of housing gone up. I'm not talking about mortgages, insurance, water, utilities. You saw it. I read a study the other day that said utilities gone up 5 to 10%, insurance gone up 20%. And how much did your paycheck go up? Probably nothing, 3%, 4%. So the pace of inflation way outdid what you're earning. And all of these increases are just so expensive that you can't do it. And this is what I'm telling you. And this is what I've been telling you guys for a long time. Make sure that you put an emergency fund in place during good times. Put some money away and make sure that you don't fall into the trap of, oh, I want this new Ford F-150. I want this new Ford car. And now they're giving it to you 0%. Don't even worry about it. Just drive it off the lot. And even if you got a repo last week, they're so desperate of moving cars with sticker high prices, they'll just say 4% with their own in-house financing. Just keep it going. Just down the road. Just drive it in. We're not going to worry about it. And this is where it's at. Americans fall into the car trap, the luxury trap, and then the chickens come home to roost, and you're like, ooh, not so good after all. I can't make it, and something's got to give. And for these people that are always like, oh, this isn't good news. If you've been saving up, you've been ready for this to kind of come down, and you're like, man, I can't wait. You saw prices drop in EV vehicles, right? And so people that can't afford it, repos still going strong. They got to have to write off these banks millions of billions of dollars in credit card losses that people just can't pay back. And so there's going to be deals to be had. You've seen it on Facebook Marketplace. You've seen side-by-sides that these people purchased. You've seen boats that people purchased during COVID, way over asking price. They're just take it. I can't do it anymore. Just take it. And you see it with lease payments too. People are like, I'll pay you something to get out of my bad lease. So you have a few extra $1,000 to put towards that lease because I just can't do it anymore. And this is reality for a lot of Americans. They got themselves into stuff that they shouldn't have lived beyond their means. And people are always like, yeah, they shouldn't have lived beyond their means. But I'm telling you, if you got that lived through as an example through your parents, everybody in your environment, how are you going to become financially free if that's the environment you kind of grew up in, right? Nature versus nurture. And so you got to break the cycle. You got to watch content. You got to educate yourself. And the problem is there's so much more fun things to do than talk about finances. You're like, oh, let me watch boxing. Let me watch this. And there's so many clickbaity doom scrolling apps now. You can sit there and watch for 2 hours how Logan Paul fights these IRL streamers that go on and just kind of punch each other and go crazy, and you're watching video games and doing all this. But instead, you should be looking at how are your finances going? How can I increase my quality of life? And if I'm gonna buy this today, is my future you gonna thank me? And these are the things that you gotta think about when you're gonna sign on that dotted line. Because if you're gonna go in today and you say, I'm gonna take one of these F-150 deals, 0% for 60 months, and it's gonna take you about 4 hours, they're gonna put you in the nice car. They might even buy you lunch. They cater to you now because they have to, because it's just not selling. All of a sudden, you're like, yeah, let's pull your credit app. We'll make it work somehow. They'll fudge the numbers, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, nice. And so you just signed up for $1,000 a month, 60-month payment, and oh, that's not even the kicker. No payments for 90 days. So you're gonna be fine. And they're like, oh, just 90 days. You start making payments next year. And don't worry about it. We'll help you out, do all kinds of things just to get you to sign on that dotted line. Take over that responsibility. And it is just time for you to take a step back. Look at, is this something I can do? And how is my job secure? Look at these air traffic controllers. Look at TSA. Huge amount of no paychecks. Huge amount of I can't do it. And my apartment complex that I'm living at doesn't even allow me to defer some rent payments because they're going to tack on the fees. And so this is just reality of Americans where everything's rented, everything's bought off of credit. So status symbol of you looking at pulling up in your car next to somebody that has a way nicer one, you got to wonder yourself, how much is that guy's payment? And can he keep it if something bad happens to him? And I sure hope not. And I hope that you guys that watch my content for 2 years now, when I started this, I said, small incremental changes during the good times can really set you up for the times that are coming now. And like I said, I think it's going to take another 12 to 18 months till we see something better. And like I said in my video yesterday, if you didn't watch that, you should go watch it, because I've been talking about death by 1,000 cuts. Everything just keeps going up and up and up, besides the salary or the hourly rate. And so you are in trouble. You got to figure out, how can I make more money? How can I make a few $100s extra a month? Maybe dog sitting, maybe dog walking, maybe doing something else for somebody that still has a job. Because if you're in tech and you're going to compete with the best of the best for these 6-figure salaries, you're going to be looking for quite some time. And the problem is, you're not going to find something in the next few months, because holiday, Thanksgiving, people need to take PTO. If they still have a secure job, take PTO, use it or lose it policies, and it's going to be hard. So yeah, make sure you got some money right. You got your emergency fund in place, so if something happens, you'll be fine. And it's funny because I keep saying it, I'm saying it over and over again, and people write me emails. Say, Enrico, I'm so ready. I have saved $200,000. Once these car prices drop, once these boat prices drop, or these house prices, I'm just ready to pull the trigger. And they're like, yep, I've been waiting, I've been listening, and I haven't done anything. And it's so somebody else's downfall is going to be somebody else's win. And let me tell you one thing, fortunes are made during downturns. And so, yeah, you can make a lot of money coming up. And I just hope you're on the right side of the coin. You've put your money where your mouth is. You learned and you listened. And yeah, this was it for this video. We've been walking in Sky Canyon, in Sky Hills actually. And this is a new walk. I tried to switch it up a little bit. And they got some really nice places for these people that are like, Vegas, Vegas. So yeah, walked here right around where I live. They got a nice little castle to bounce around, bouncy house castle or whatever that is. They got basketball courts. It's really nice. So for these people, they're like, Vegas, Vegas. Yeah, it's really nice around this time of year. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about all this. And I will see you guys in the next one.